Hey, real life traders from around the world. This is Jeremy Alexander Newsom with Real Life Trading. I do, in fact, hope you're doing absolutely sensational. It's Wonderful Wednesday, which is, in fact, March the 25th, and getting ready for the weekend. This weekend, I'm heading down to Georgia. My dad's memorial service is Saturday, and I'll be spending time with friends and family, driving down Friday night after the day trading class. Speaking of day trading class, class 3 is actually tonight. All you need to know about day trading session 3 for free is going to be tonight. So you'll see the link in the email I'll be sending out as well. Looking at the general market, a little bit of a pullback today on some stocks. So since Tesla is here, looking at Tesla, if we come into Tesla on the hourly chart, you can see a pretty decent gap down. It trapped some of the white candles from yesterday, meaning it's trapping some of the buyers, and the fact that it got down below this support at 190, let's just say 195, is more bearish than bullish, especially if it breaks below this wick. So what I'm looking for Tesla to do is something like this and something like this. So today is Weekly's Wednesday, so in about 12 minutes I'll be opening up the trading floor and looking at some weekly credit spreads. Tesla will probably be among those particular spreads I'll be taking a peek at. Apple, of course, a little bit of a pullback today on Apple. I did exit my long position on Apple. I had calls, the 125 May calls, and I went ahead and exited today as I was looking at the analysis. And what we were looking at on the trading floor is we felt that this gap in this time frame was very, very similar to this gap in this time frame, and apparently it's almost identical. So I'm kind of guessing that we're right about here or so on the current wave rotation on Apple. So we probably have 1 or 2, maybe even 3 days of bearishness left in Apple. More than likely, we'll probably make it back down to 122, which is around the 50 exponential moving average. Here's your 50 exponential. So again, we'll likely get down to the 50, and then maybe all the way down to 120. And if we get down to 120 and bounce, I personally think that is a gift from the stock market. I don't think Apple is incredibly bearish at the moment. I think this is a decently healthy wave rotation, but we'll see what it does around this level, because if it starts breaking down 120, I know for a fact there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be more bearish than bullish on it overall. So I did get off my longs, and as you can see, I did buy some protective puts on Apple as I started breaching that low, which worked out pretty well to mitigate my losses on Apple. Hopping over to a few others, GoPro today. GoPro did gap up earlier this morning, came down and retested the gap, which really isn't that magnificently huge of a surprise. So I'm calling this red line the Linderman wedge, since Justin Linderman is the one who talked about it and brought it to my attention. Yesterday was a black candle on the daily chart, so we triggered in bullish on 323 out of that little pop, out of that potential kind of wedgish pattern. And here on the hourly, you see that we had a white candle. So it was a white candle. We gapped up, meaning that we're likely going to retest. So there's the retest, and there's some bouncing. So I'm sure some of my traders got paid pretty handsomely on GoPro on the bounce today. Netflix is pulling back pretty nicely. We have a bull put spread on Netflix expiring this Friday. Since it is in fact Wednesday, I don't think we'll necessarily need to be too terribly afraid of Netflix. We'll keep a close eye on it. If it breaches below 413 this week, we might just simply exit this bull put spread, since again it does expire this week, and it's 2 days left, and we're about a little over 23 points away, so it should be all right. We'll keep a close eye on it coming into Wednesday, and we might also get into a bear call spread, creating an iron condor up here if there's any premium on Netflix coming into that. So looking at the general market, here's the DIA, and the DIA, we did have an evening star reversal pattern yesterday. So here you guys go, 324.15. This was analysis from yesterday. Could be an evening star pattern at resistance. If we break lower than the 323 candle, market will likely be neutral and grind for a while. So my expectations is it will probably do something like this as at the moment. Right, guys, one candle can change everything. I still don't necessarily believe we're going to take out the FOMC meeting candle. If we do, we're going to be a little bit more bearish than bullish. Our 174, 173 bull put spread should still be okay. Again, that expires this week, and it's way down here. We've got 3 points to go, so that should be all right. If anything, you can exit for a very, very small loss. But I did exit my DIA calls that I had this morning. So here was the Monday, I mentioned this, right? Monday, we had a little bit of a double top coming in. We closed below the neckline. Tuesday was a retest, and we continued lower. And this morning, here's my stop. And I said, if we break below the low, I'm exiting my long calls, which was, hey, that's what stops are for, right? Mitigate your losses, let the stock roll over, let it do its thing, and we'll look to buy low if it does, in fact, play out. Here's your SPY. Nice size black candle on the SPY, which is almost taking out the low of the FOMC meeting candle. So if that does happen, I will be leaning towards a little bit more bearishness than bullishness in the market. So this week, we'll probably be doing some bear call spreads on the weekly pattern. QQQ, you guys can see the Q, big candle. So does this shape up to be a double top? That's going to be the question that a lot of people are going to be asking. I'm going to say probably not. I think it's going to whipsaw some people. Maybe it'll trade down here. Then, we just continue to go bullish again, faking some people out. That's potential, right? We'll see what the volume does. We'll see how it comes in, what the volume looks like on today's candle. But we're ready, right? We're ready to go. One candle, guys, can change anything and everything. And we got some really, really good warning signals yesterday on the general market as it did start to kind of roll over. And here's your IWM. Very, very pretty gap on the IWM. Good candle so far, good volume. Interested to see how, in fact, that does play out. And Amazon. Looking at Amazon, might hop into a bear call on Amazon as well, expiring this week. We got Chris. I think Chris is in a 365 expiring this week. 365, 362.50, I believe. And way down here, April week 1 is a 352, 350. So we'll be keeping an eye on it. Bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, if the little neckline or this pivot breaks for a lot of stocks, I think that will be a little bit more bearish than bullish on a lot of time frames. So we're going to be ready to mitigate risk if need be in the general market. And let's do Kraft as well, since Kraft is a very popular gap up today. Kraft, huge move. One of our real life traders, Karen S., she made... I don't know exactly how or why. I haven't fully talked to her yet, but I know that she had some Kraft calls. And they expired soon, and I don't know exactly what they were or why, but she bought them. I think maybe even based off this support, right? Just bought them out the support, gapped up. She made 140 R, I believe, on this gap up on Kraft. So good for Karen. Here's a 5-minute pattern. And I had a coaching student yesterday, actually, and me and him talked through this. It was Balaji and his son, Nikhil, who was in Sydney, Australia. And right at the end of the coaching session, he said, Jeremy, give me a trade tomorrow that'll pay for this coaching session. And so we will look through a few things. Saw Kraft, told him it was going to be a gap and go. And I believe he played this, and I'm sure he's going to be quite happy about it. So Balaji, who lives in North Carolina, great job, my friend. I'm proud of you. Guys, it's going to be an interesting Wednesday. It's going to be an interesting week. That is for sure. Excited to see what Fridays brings. I'll be indisposed over the weekend. Be back next week, hopefully. A little sad, a little happy, but overall still here. And I appreciate your guys' patience, your love, your support. Next week, we're going to have 2 days free peek into the live day trading room in the afternoon. So make sure to stay tuned and keep your eyes on your inbox for that. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great day. And until next time, remember, love life, live life, and trade it.